Hello, this is Godel. Welcome back to Feed the Beast Interactions. I've been doing some stuff off camera, kind of to get prepped for today's episode. One of the things I've done is I've made some obsidian shards and devil dust, because with these we can do... And let me just make sure I have this recipe correct. Alright, we do the devil dust first. And apparently that is the end of those arcane ashes there. But with these, we can make do. Check it out. Not the item I thought this was making, actually. Ender shards. What do we make with ender shards, you ask? Well, with ender shards, we make... not the kind of elevator I was looking for. Ender shards. Okay. Yeah, so we are... The reason I made these is so that we can make a few of these guys. That should be enough, right? I can't math right now for some reason. Yeah, that's enough. The reason I made these is because I would like to make some more of these here ender shards, the teleportation ones. So there we go. We got some ender shards. Other off-camera stuff I've done. I made some more covalence dust for us. I crafted a couple machines that we are going to be using a little bit more often. So I crafted a basic ore washing plant, which is when you are processing ores. That is for doing this step right here of ore processing. So you can mix water or distilled water with a crushed ore, and you'll get byproduct 1 plus the purified cobalt ore. And then with the purified cobalt ore, what I did is I put that to hammer or macerate, and then we don't get the extra byproduct here yet because we don't have a macerator that can produce extra byproducts. But with the purified cobalt ore, I then put it in. I didn't do cobalt, sorry. I did cobaltite, which is a cobalt arsenic sulfide, or a cobalt. Oh, I don't know if this is a sulfide or not. Hold up. Not geography, geology. One sec. Okay, it is a sulfide. It is a cobalt arsenic sulfide. Anyways, I took those, and so from ore washing process, I got some sulfur out of that, and then from the basic centrifuge of the purified dust, I got some cobalt out of it. So now we have some cobalt here. Only got 3, but I don't think I need a whole lot because the reason I made it is to be able to make this cobalt brass dust. And cobalt brass, if you remember, we need this to make... Let me just go to the thing that makes it instead of trying to find the item. We need cobalt brass buzzsaw blade to be able to make a cutting machine, which is something we're going to want. So that should be the cobalt we need for the cutting machine. Now, the only other thing we need for the cobalt brass is going to be a piece of aluminum dust. And also we're going to need some more brass, but brass isn't the big deal here. Aluminum is going to be kind of hard to find because we cannot get aluminum ore yet. Oh, and technically this spelling is the European spelling aluminium, but I'm going to be calling it aluminum anyway. Sorry, I'm American. Uh, let's look really quick how we would get some aluminum. So most of these electrolyzer recipes are going to be high, medium voltage, except here sapphire dust we can get aluminum from. And then magnesium, well, that requires aluminum to make, so we're not going to find that. Also, green sapphire we get aluminum from. So those are our 2 options for making aluminum dust with the electrolyzer, with the centrifuge. Let's see, this would be ore byproducts processing. So pollucite, I don't think we can find pollucite. So go back. Almandine, I don't know if we have almandine either. Mica, I don't think we have mica veins. Glauconite, do we have glauconite? We do have glauconite. Okay, so glauconite, here it is. Glauconite would be giving us some aluminum on the secondary output here. Secondary byproduct. Emerald as well. Kyanite. Do we have kyanite? I think we actually have some of this, don't we? Maybe not. Spodomini. This is like a lithium salt. We don't have that, I don't think. Oh, we do have that, but it's only on the moon. Okay, well. Green sapphire, as we already discussed. Oh, bentonite we can also get. I think we actually have some bentonite, don't we? Yeah, hold up. We got some bentonite right here. Not terribly much, though. Don't we also have some... No, oh, we do have green sapphire. Where did we get green sapphire from? Terravane. Oh, okay, that's from that. I think I'm going to hold my green sapphire for now, because we're going to get potentially a way to augment it in the future, but this vein, this ore, we are not going to get a way to augment it, so let's go ahead and crush it in our macerator. That's not going to give us this aluminum, but when we, let's see, what would be better here? When we wash it, we're going to get 33% of aluminum, and then we can centrifuge that for some calcium. The calcium's not really that significant, but we'll go ahead and do this washing cycle. Let's do this in 3 so we can take advantage of overclock speeding up. Something I haven't really explained, and I'm probably not going to explain it in detail right now, but... Alright, so here's our bentonite. And what I set up over here, so we have distilled water, and the reason I am using distilled water is because if we look at the recipes for the ore washer, there's 3 options here. So there is option 1, which is water plus the ore, and this uses 16 EU per tick, and it takes 20 seconds. The other option is distilled water plus bentonite. It takes 100 liters of distilled water, and it will give us the same output, but it's going to take half the amount of time. And then there's a third option, which is to use circuit 2, and this is the same as dropping it in a cauldron. It's super fast, but we don't get any byproducts. So we're going to use the distilled water recipe here. And basically what this allows us to do is we have a distillery. This is another machine I made off camera. The distillery basically will sit here and take distilled water, which I'm feeding with an Everfull urn over here, and it will make distilled water out of that water. And it's kind of like slightly more power hungry up front. As you can see here, it's using 30 EU per tick, and I have the battery in here to restock the water. But this being half of the operation here, this is 3200 EU to do it water versus distilled water, and then to make 100 milliliters or 100 liters of distilled water, it's actually 2400 EU, because this makes 260. Well, technically it's let's see, 4800 over 2600 times 100. Technically it's 1800. So this not only saves EU, but it also makes this machine twice as fast, and it kind of lets us like have it pre-stocked ahead of time. So instead of using water, which is really cheap, we use something slightly more expensive, or a slightly faster and actually more efficient process. So that's pretty cool. All right. So that's 2 things I did off camera. The other thing I did off camera is that I started to think about where we're gonna do some of the Astral Sorcery stuff. So I want to ultimately make a sky platform, but to get to a sky platform, I'm going to want to use one of these teleporters. Since we only have 2, and making another one right now is, well, it's impossible unless I make another luminous crafting table, but I'm like okay not making a luminous crafting table right now. I'm just fine to relocate our Starlight crafting table up into the sky somewhere, and then we're going to do crafting up there, and I'm just going to hijack one of these teleporters in the meantime. So I'm going to probably repurpose the copper one, or maybe I'll repurpose the iron one, because we did like mine out most of that iron already. But I went to mine a bunch of copper, and that copper vein is like, we could go mine it more, but I've already restocked recently, so we are just going to go ahead and reuse the copper teleport pad to get up there. So next thing I need to decide is, all right, we're going to be going up there. What do we want to build our thing out of? And that is a good question. Maybe we'll use some kind of Z-tone, actually. Or X-tone, rather. This mod is called X-tones, and with X-tone mods you can make, or with X-tone blocks you can make a whole bunch of different um, shaped of blocks. So let's look at X-tone. So basically you have the X-tone 1 tile. So here's bit 1, here's Azure 1, Agon 1, etc. And then you can chisel it into all the different variations. So Cray is actually just terracotta. That's kind of funny, actually. Oh, though, now that I'm looking at this, to make stone slabs is actually kind of non inconsequential. There's like a lot of steps in this actually, because we need to make a lot of stone slabs, and then we also have to have smooth stone here. So that's a total of 4 stone for 8 X-tone tiles. So kind of a pricey thing to make. Maybe we're just gonna use like a basic molding material. Like maybe we'll just use what do we have? Like maybe we'll just use cobblestone and we'll turn it into stone, and then chisel it into something. I don't know. So we will see. Speaking of chisel, we can make a better chisel now at this point too. Let's go ahead and do that. And I'll show you why in a second. So we can make a diamond chisel, and then let's make an eye chisel. So eye chisel is good because we can go in here and we can actually use a different kind of chiseling method. We can use contiguous chiseling method, which lets us chisel a bunch of blocks at once. So watch this. Boom. We just chiseled this entire 10 block radius from that point over there. And we can unchisel it. There, now we've chiseled into that. So this just lets us do like a bunch of chiseling in a big area all at once. Curious. If I break a chiseled stone, do I get 2 pieces of slabstone? No, I just get a chiseled stone. But yeah, this is going to be quick for decorating our platform in the way we want. Maybe we'll do this kind of dragon scale type chiseled stone, or maybe we'll do... Oh, this actually looks pretty good. It's like the stone bricks, except they're like smoothed. Just gonna cycle through here. Oh, this is a cool looking pattern. It's the stone bricks, but it has a border on it. This disaster. I kind of like this big tile look. It's like smooth stone, but it's in like big tiles. And then this has like a little border on it. Anyways, I'm just gonna cycle through the rest of these. Another bordered one. This one looks, I don't think we're gonna get that one. That's like kitchen tile. This one looks pretty cool. This is a cool one for a floor. This is also a cool one for a floor. Anyways. So about that eye chisel, I'm gonna go ahead and make another one. And that's our last diamond, so let's not waste this one. I just went like completely off the rail there, just hammering away at that tile. Let's put this back in here and go ahead and... How do you select the target here? think we just do this contiguous now. So that's going to fix that, that's going to fix that, and then I don't know how we even got this over here. These one-off brick chisel pieces. I must have, like, chiseled the wrong brick at some point. Okay. So yeah, I didn't just waste an entire chisel's durability for no reason. Nope, not me. I wouldn't do that. But we can actually go down here and go ahead and mess with this. So let's do a contiguous 2D, and then I liked this floor pattern that we saw, the slanted. So let's go over and apply it in the kind of the edge here. Just trying to see how far it actually reaches, because I don't want it to chisel outside of this area. Does it? Along the plane of the current side. So does it, if I chisel something that's invisible, does it chisel that too? Because I don't want it to chisel stuff that's like not visible, you know what I mean? So if we put like the stone block in here, encase it all the way around so you can't even see that stone block, and then we chisel this, does that also get chiseled in there? It does not. Okay, so if that's true, then we should be able to, whoops, I just chiseled the floor back into shape here. We should just be able to use zag here. Slanted, I mean. And we should just be able to chisel this, and we should be able to chisel this, and then if I break a stone here, we should not see slanted. Okay, good, perfect. That is exactly what I would have hoped to see there. Let me put that stone back. Oh, that is cobblestone now, so we need our philosopher's stone to fix that. Oh, well, we'll fix that later. All right, let's go ahead and put our slanted in here. Put some slanted and slanted, and then more slanted. I heard you like slants. All right, there we go. So now we have some slanted flooring in here. This looks nicer. And then if we go down here, I was actually getting some cave sound effects. So I think it's too dark down here. It thinks this is a cave and not part of my house. So let me go get some torches and candles, rather. Whenever I say torches, just, you know, assume I mean candles. Let's put some candles up on the wall so that the walls are a little bit brighter and it doesn't confuse us with like a natural cave or something. Assuming that's what's happening. Like, ultimately, I don't really know. And let's put one up in each corner as well. The corners are kind of dark. Even though the ground's bright enough to not spawn any mobs, like maybe it's thinking, oh, this block in the air is too dark. I don't know. Anyways, there we go. And then what did we want to chisel our floor down here? Nothing too noisy. Let's do zag down here. Alright. Alright, looking pretty good. Here's our new basement look. Here's our new subfloor look. So it looks pretty nice. Oh, and I missed a block here, apparently. Bloop. We can also go ahead and... I think no reason not to just go ahead and put stone blocks on all of these spaces that are kind of the bottom of the downstairs. Just tidy this up down here. And then here in the middle. Okay, there we go. We can also make our stairs be... We should probably make our stairs be actual stairs, to be honest. Let's pick these up really quick, and we will make them be actual stairs. So, grab some stone blocks here. Why is stone blocks in that chest as well? That's not the right chest for stone blocks. Let's make some good old vanilla stone stairs. And probably that many should be sufficient. And, of course, I hate placing stairs. They're always very finicky when you're out of practice with actually placing them. Okay. And if we want to make the staircase look even more fancier, we can go here, put the stairs on the bottom of the stairs. Wow. Look at that. I know vanilla building techniques. Okay. And then I'll do the same down here, but for now I need to step away, so I will be back shortly. Alright, we are back. So that I can finish the stairs. Yeah, definitely remember what I was doing, There was something else I was doing, probably, but, we will remember when I remember, I guess. Alright, there's our stairs down here. Let's put the reverse stairs so they look not super out of place. There we go. Chisel this guy up. Oh, we're gonna need zag down here. Hold up. This is cobblestone. Let's get zag. There we go. Alright, now we have to make a hole in our staircase because I didn't make it wide enough. Now we've got our little basement here. Nice and tidied up. Oh, and I also wanted to fix this really quick. Back to regular stone for you. Okay. So next step, I'm going to go and find a place to build our sky platform for our Astral Sorcery setup. So I'm thinking normally you would go around and you'd find like a high moonlight area, but honestly if you just build your platform up in the sky, it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to go up to like y equals 200 and just build our platform way the heck up there. So I'm going to need a couple stacks of sand. That's going to be to get down with. And then we're going to use cobblestone as our building substrate. And we're going to just chisel it into whatever we want it to be at the end. So I'm thinking to make it like, probably like 30 by 30 tiles for now. So yeah, let's see here. We've got our, let me get out of the house so it's not showing me cave mode. Got our farm over here. I'm thinking maybe over here towards the east would be alright place to have it, like above these rubber trees. So let's go and build our pillar to the sky right here. And do we have candles? We have candles. We have our teleport crystal. That is all we need, I believe. And now we just get building. Oh, I don't have anything to build with, though, now that I'm looking up here. Like I don't have my building tools. That's okay. We can link our crystal, and then we can teleport back up here after we get all the way up here. So this is going to take a second. I'm just going to pause the recording while I'm doing this. Alright, we are out of sand. Now I'm going to place our cobblestone platform. I'm going to use a too thick platform here, just in case we want to go like under the platform or like dig underneath and not like fall through the ground, that there's like a little subfloor under. And we're going to build this out momentarily. So first thing first, let's grab our ender shard and let's link it right here. We're going to do /home to get back, though if we wanted to, we could have something. We could have something like some kind of safety fall thingy to land on top of. And then for the sand pillar, I'm just going to come right over here, and we're just going to throw a candle underneath the sand column. Goodbye, sand. Whee! This is always so satisfying. Alright, I mean, we don't really need the sand, so I don't really need to sit here and watch this, but might as well. It is just dopamine fuel right there. Yum. Alright. So we've got our place marked. Whoops, I see a rogue block up here. You turn into regular stone bricks. Are there other stone bricks on the outside of my house? There sure are. Even out here. Jeez, that's funny. Anything else on my roof that I messed up? Yep, there is. Over here on this room I messed stuff up. Even over in this other room I messed stuff up. Jeez, okay. I think that's probably everything I messed up with the chisel before. You know, when I was just like wasting all the durability. Okay, let's put the stairs away. We're good on stairs right now. I'm not going to be using X-tones here just because we don't have a great way to make a whole lot of them at the moment. So let's go and put our sand away. Let's get more cobble and then cobble, cobble, cobble. We need our building wand, which is where? Where did I put that thing? Here it is. Formation wand. And let's also bring let's bring an EMC table up with us because we're probably gonna run out of cobblestone while making this. So the more stuff we bring up, the better. And then to actually get up there, we are going to take our copper mine crystal. Try not to confuse which is which here. Put our sky platform crystal in here, and there we go. We're up in the sky. Let's go. All right, now to build this, we're going to build... I think we're going to want to build this way. So let's build, like, I don't know. Let's build, like, 10 blocks in each direction. So we're already at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 blocks this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, counting the one I forgot to count over there. And then here we are going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then 10 more. All right, so this is where we want the width of our platform to be. So let's just go ahead and fill it in. So I guess I'm gonna have to do like my sub platform first, huh? Because I can't really build on top or beneath this. So let's go ahead and build this all in. Okay, that was an interesting way for it to go about building. Now I gotta fill in all these weird Swiss cheese holes that it made. Okay, so there is the base of our platform. Let's go ahead and we need to also fix the edges of our platform over here because it did not build all the way out. That's just how the wand works. Over here, let's go under and do the same thing on this side. Let me do it a little bit more smart this time. Let's do like this. Whoops. Can I undo? Control Z, hello? Break those 2 blocks. Okay, let's do that. And then we can do this here. Then we can do that. And then we can do this across here. Do the underneath. Okay, there we go. Our platform is pretty much done here. We just need to finish off the edges here of the bottom one. All right, and it looks pretty square. I'm not going to be mad if it's not like perfectly square, but square enough. All right, so there's our upper... Here's our upper floor of this. Now we're just going to fill in another layer of this. Oh, and I forgot this wand actually charges, so I need to wait a second between using these charges. I could have also brought my builder's wand, but honestly I like this better than builder's wand in some situations, this being one of the situations I like it in. Alright. Can actually fill this in here horizontally. Alright, all done. So here's our platform. And here's my death. Goodbye. This is the thing that happened, and now I'm hungry, so let's go grab some, where's my lunchbox? Probably had my lunchbox on me, because that's what I've been eating out of lately. Ran out of food finally, so. Alright. Grab my head. Is my lunchbox here? It sure is. Okay, let's have a grilled cheese and a fish sandwich and a honey sandwich. The greatest lunch ever cooked. Oh, and we can't eat for a minute either. Okay, well, we're just gonna have to deal with being very slow. I could have slash homed while I was falling, but like, you're not supposed to be able to slash home while you're moving, so I can only do that because cheats are enabled, but I'm trying not to, explicitly abuse that. Let's get back up here. Can't believe we fell off and we only needed to place 3 more blocks. Alright, there we go. And then I need to go get my Philosopher's Stone. So we are going to slash home for that, because we're in a safe place to slash home from. Still can't eat. Let's get our Philosopher's Stone. Which is... where have I put it? Philosopher's Stone. Control T. Uh-oh. I am not finding it. Did I lose it somewhere? Did I put it somewhere weird? Uh-oh. Is it in one of these chests over here? Might need to go make a new Philosopher's Stone because mine is MIA. Which means I need to make new Arcane Ashes too because mine are also... I use them up, so... Which means I would need to get a new one of these. Oh, man. Okay, give me a minute. Be right back. Okay, I found it. It was in my stupid table over here. I guess that table's not searchable. Like, I'm pressing my search button on those keys, and it's not highlighting it in this chest, so there we go. Okay. Phew. Big annoyance, fixed there. How have I recently eaten a grilled cheese? Literally, this is my new life. I couldn't have eaten grilled cheese in this life. Okay, let's go back up here finally. And oh, it is very dark. I do not like this. Start by fixing the darkness up here, I guess. I didn't place this a good size to be like torch perfect tileable. Yeah, see, we are missing the edge over here in a couple spots. But we can just put a couple extra torches there to fix those. No big deal. Alright. So then I wanted to take my Philosopher's Stone, and we are going to do a cube, and we are going to make it as big as we can, and just make this whole thing into dirt. Please don't make it into sand. I don't want to rebuild it. Alright, now we have a giant stone platform in the sky. Okay, and then we're going to use our eye chisel, and what do we want to actually make our, the shape of our stuff here? Well, first, let me, I didn't actually bring any stone, so let me grab a piece of stone here. I picked it up like that, just so I wouldn't pick up cobblestone. And then for the flooring up here, let's do... what's going to look cool up here? Maybe let's do like the... what was one of the bordered ones? Was it this one? Here, we can actually see the preview here. So one of these that have connected textures, I think, are going to look cool up here. Dent looks kind of cool. Sunken looks kind of cool. This is like too much here, the Celtic. So this mosaic. That looks cool. Alright. Put that back down. Am I chiseling mosaic here? That is mosaic, okay. Alright, and then let's set this to contiguous 2D, because did not chisel the shape I wanted it to. Mosaic. I don't want it to chisel the under platform, because we're not going to be looking at the under platform. That's just going to be a waste of chisel durability, so gotta fix this mess over here. And boom. Alright, there's our nicely chiseled floor for our Astral Sorcery area. And then now we have to actually build stuff up here. So let's go back to Slash Home again. And I'm going to grab our Starlight Crafting Altar. And the first thing we're going to need to build is... Let me turn this down before I make some kind of horrible mistake in my house. First thing I need to make is going to be the actual structure blocks for this guy. So that's going to need a bunch of... marble. And they're going to need to be chiseled a certain way. But where is... the sooty marble? We got sooty. Soot. Would help if I spelled it correctly. Don't seem to have it anywhere. Did I stick it in here? Did I claim it from the quest reward? Maybe I didn't claim it from the quest reward. Other quest reward? This one? Altar of Light? There it is. Okay. So we are going to need some amount of this. Probably we're going to need a lot more of this, so I'm just going to go ahead and take a stack of charcoal and put it to cook with some marble. Charcoal, marble. And we had some in there as well. Alright. Then to actually craft our altar, normally you use something called the sextant, but I forgot to make one. So we're going to have to actually use the OG style of figuring out the recipe, which is looking at your in-game manual. And this is the in-game manual for Astral Sorcery, and these are only supposed to unlock as you unlock them in actually playing through the mod. But because I did the whole thing with, you know, because I did the whole thing with, you know, the mod actually teaches you how to do all the research, and then you don't actually have to craft it. We have to actually go here and kind of go in order. Probably going to be under Discovery, I'm going to guess. Luminous table. Okay, well, this is just the Luminous table. Where does it explain how to make the actual next table from here? Exploration, perhaps? There it is, the Starlight Crafting table. So here's our structure here. It's going to need... well, we can see here. Can we go layer by layer? Okay. So it's going to be 9 by 9. Sorry, not 9 by 9. This is going to be 5 by 5 minus 4. So that's going to be 21 city marbles. So we have that. Then we're going to need Astral Sorcery tiles. And then it looks like chiseled Astral Sorceries. Then we're going to need some pillars. The altar, more pillar, more chiseled. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. Do we have any of that stuff already made? Here, we do have some pillars. I don't think it needed any ruined marbles. And then the rest we're just going to chisel as we build it. So let's go up there and put it together. And this isn't going to be our last tier of altar, so I'm actually going to give it some space here to grow. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we will do it here on tile number 7 in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And then we need to put our sooty marble down first. And then it was like this. This is why I put an underfloor. As you can see, this is much easier to build with having something underneath, and then you're not just having blocks fall if you need to break them later. Okay, so there's our sooty marble base, and then the next thing we needed was, looks like marble bricks. And are we going to need more bricks than that? Doesn't look like it. So let's take 8 marble. That's how many chiseled marbles we're going to need. How do you use this to chisel things again? Chisel. Okay, there. It only chiseled that, but wait, this is not the correct one. We need the marble bricks from Astral Sorcery, and that does not look correct. Hold on, one second. Here, this one. This is the one we need. There's supposed to be like a mod indicator that tells you what mod these blocks are from, and I don't know why it's not on, and I don't know how to turn it on, but we're okay without it. I luckily know what blocks are what. All right, and we didn't actually chisel enough blocks here. I didn't mean to get marble bricks here. I meant for this to be chiseled marble. Where's chiseled marble? There, this one. Is this the chiseled marble? I think it is. Greg Tech chiseled marble. No, that's not the correct one. We need the Astral Sorcery chiseled marble. What does that look like? Bruh. Not that one. Not that one. Where the heck is it? Okay, so where's the Astral Sorcery marbles? They start here. Astral... There it is. I see it. So we need to chisel this one. Jeez. Annoying. Alright, and then these are all going to have a pillar on top of them. 2 pillars, actually. And then a chiseled marble on top of that. Alright. 2 pillars, chisel. 2 pillars and chisel. 2 pillars and chiseled. And then the rest of these should just be bricks in here. So we're going to need like 20 bricks. Should be 5 plus 6, 24 bricks. So Astral Sorcery bricks, chisel all of those. Please work. Is all I'm asking. Okay. And it doesn't work. Well, let's go reference our book to see why it might not be working. I'm just putting some candles up here because mobs can spawn up there. Okay, so this is the chisel blocks. I'm pretty sure that's correct. The pillar. Oh, we need this on the outer border as well. I didn't even see that. Okay, so... And it's on the edge of the chisel? Yes, it is. Okay, so this is all going to have to be a different kind of marble as well. Alright, and that's going to be a length of 7 times 4, so 28 of these. And that's going to be... Which block is that? This one right here, Marble Arch. What did I just chisel? I meant to chisel that stack. Okay. Alright, now we should be done. There we go. We have our altar reassembled. It works again. Because we see that the little crafting bar here is not red. So there we go. Astral Sorcery altar reassembled and ready to go. Cool. What did we want to make with it? First of all, we should probably make a sextant before we forget, and then we need to make it again. But what I actually wanted to make is this thing, Starlight Infusion Altar, because this is going to let us make some other stuffs for much cheaper. So let's go ahead and get this together. We're going to need some thaumium screws. And I can just bookmark the recipe and then look at it on my way back. Electrum plates. We haven't done Electrum yet, but Electrum is just an alloy of gold and silver, so that's pretty easy for us to make. We have some silver here. We have some gold here. Let's just cook them in the alloy smelter, which is probably still busy on. Oh, no, it's just finishing up on the city marble. There we go. And we need only 4 of these, so I'll just accelerate this. So there's our 4 electrons. Let's turn them into plates really quick. We're going to need thaumium screws. Okay, so thaumium screws, we're going to need actually only 1 ingot for a screw for now. So lathe the screw. Oh no, please don't run out of power. Okay, we did it. And we don't have our cutting machine built yet, but that's okay. We're just going to saw this into bolts. Get this in here. I don't know why it didn't show and I had to reopen the window, but there's our bolts. Now we're going to lathe our bolts into screws really quick. All right, excellent. So there's all of those items. I should put some of this junk away. In fact, I should make a chest to go for Astral Sorcery. So let's make a chest. It's going to be, oops, all Astral Sorcery. I think I had an empty chest here somewhere. Yeah, okay, perfect. So let's do all this stuff. I'm just going to throw it out on the ground, and then anything that's Astral Sorcery related, we're just going to take that with us and pick it up in the dolly and move that dolly instead of moving a bunch of items multiple times. Looks like that's everything. Oh, the aquamarine. That should be everything Astral Sorcery related. Let's stick it all in here. And we've got our bucket of liquid starlight in here, and we have our rune marble in here. We should have everything we need to craft this thing. Bobby unscrews the electrum plates. Whoop, don't forget the electrum plates. Where's my dolly? Here it is. Yoink. Grab the chest. And get my electrum plates. How was this crafting stuff over here going? Oh yeah, we got our bentonite finished washing up here. Let's throw away the stone dust. We don't need it for a foreseeable need in the future. I don't know if we're going to need calcium for anything, like mercury, barium, calcium, cuprate dust? Excuse me? The heck is that for? I don't know if we need this, to be honest. What does this make? A wire? Oh, it's for the HV superconductor, but the regular... It's the regular GregTech one, not the magical one that FTB Interactions adds. This is all calcium acetate. I mean, we might need calcium in the future. Let's just go ahead and stick this in our forge hammer. I actually did some math and found the forge hammer is more efficient and quicker to process our dust than the macerator. So we only really need the macerator for the initial ore blocks. And the aluminum, that can stay in there for now. We got a bunch of dough. Let's actually go ahead and put more dough to craft. We're going to stick our dough over here in the meantime. Alright, now that those are doing stuff, let's go back up to our platform and move our junk up there. Let's take some wood as well, just in case any of the recipes end up needing wood. And we are going up there. Here we are. I should probably put a, since we teleport up here, I should probably put a guardrail or something so I don't, like, careen off the edge upon arrival on some occasion. Alright, here is our chest. It is facing the wrong way, but I don't think I can rotate it with the dolly. Yeah, the dolly does not let me rotate it. I can use like a wrench to rotate it if it bothers me. Alright, let's get our bucket of starlight, and we've got our screws, our plates, and half of the rune marble. Let's go. There it is. And can we craft it is the question. We can craft it. We have enough starlight up here, even though it is 6 p.m. I mean, I guess it's getting later and later. You can actually see the stars starting to be visible right now, if the YouTube quality makes them visible. And you can see the bar in here slowly charging up. Gonna leave these chiseled stones up here. They're kind of part of the scenery up here. Alright, there we go. We got our starlight concentrator. Starlight infuser is what it's called. And it gives us a nice little crystal shovel here. I might actually take that because I've been complaining about not having a shovel. There's also the Apple of Lofty Stature. This lets you be able to have auto climbing on blocks. I would actually like that, so we'll do that in the future. But for now, we're going to have to build another multi-block for this guy. So, the question is, do we want to build the multi-block again, how we did on the previous iteration, or do we want to use a sextant to help us build it? And I think we might as well go and build the sextant. So let's get this. So for glass lens, we're going to need glass. Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot we don't actually have glass just laying around. We're going to need to make some glass. So we don't have a way to make glass at the moment. We were using the kilns in the, what's it called over there? The Void World. But I'd like to avoid doing that, so let's look at other methods we have. We can use a forming press, an arc furnace with oxygen, which we don't quite have yet. Fluid solidifier with molten glass that requires us having liquid glass to begin with. And we can get that from extracting some stuff, but we don't have a fluid extractor yet. Alloy smelter. This is probably our best method. So to make this glass dust, we need to use tiny flint and quartz sand. Okay. Let's get some sand. Let's go put the sand to crush up into quartz sand. I think we actually had some quartz sand, yeah. Do we have more of this anywhere, by chance? Nope, doesn't seem like we do. Also have this, what did I see over here just now? The purified bentonite. We can put that to centrifuge. Alright, we already have a pretty good amount of quartz sand here. Let me speed this up. And while that is being sped up, I'm going to go and grab some flint that we can grind up for some flint dust. Then crush up the flint too, please, if you would. Alright, now we have a bunch of flint and quartz dust. We are going to go to a crafting table, break this down into tiny piles, which it just decided to throw on the ground. And then we can now make glass dust. Alright, more glass dust, please. More glass dust, please. There we go. And we have some leftover quartz sand. That's alright, though. And then we need our mold here. I'm going to chisel it to the block shape, I think is what we needed. Do we need the block shape or the block mold? Hold up one second. In the alloy smelter. Alloy smelter needs the block mold. Whoops. Okay, so let's make the mold instead. This one. And just put our glass in there. And that's going to make glass blocks. Hey! Glass, but with extra steps. Don't you love that? And let's just accelerate the junk out of it. Alright. Okay, so we've got some glass now. That's pretty chill, right? And then to make the... How did we make, Whoa, do not bookmark this. Holy. Get rid of those. How do we make glass slabs again? I think we have to cut them in somewhere. Pane. Glass pane. We need to cut them with a Greg pick saw or put them in a cutting saw. Honestly, cutting saw is what we want. Maybe I should go ahead and get our cutting saw put together over here. Let's see if I have like all the stuff I need to do that with. Now that we have our aluminum. So we have aluminum. I'm gonna borrow this stuff out of here for a moment because we are going to need the mixer. Okay, so for aluminum, we need some brass dust. We need kind of a lot of brass dust, though. So maybe we need to make more brass first. Let me remind myself what the recipe for alchemic brass is. So 8 instrumentum and alchemical brass. What was I using for instrumentum again? Hold up a second. I need to look through this again. Okay, I remembered. It was the wooden knife. It gave us 4 instrumentum. So how much brass are we going to need for one of these recipes? 7 brass. Alright, let's just make 14 wooden knives really quick. And then we're going to need 7 pieces of copper as well. And then what else does it need? Cobalt. Cobalt is over there already, so we're okay on that. So then we just need to make our 14 knives. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then let me make 9 more along this top row here because I know the rows are 9 columns wide. All right, and then very gracefully, I'm just gonna juggle all the knives over to the crucible over here. All right, and then we're going to do, if that's fine, we're going to do knife, knife, copper. Alright, there we go. We got our 7 brass. Gonna grind our brass up into dust, which should be a pretty quick process. Alright, there's our 7 brass. Grab our 1 cobalt, and then remind myself what I'm making in the mixer again. Program circuit 1. Combine these items. There we go, cobalt brass cooking up. I will be back once that is done cooking. While that is cooking over there, I'm also like, yo, I gotta go process some stuff because we don't have enough stuff to make the rest of the cutting machine with, so grab some steel plates over here, make our machine casing, make our machine hull, and then the only thing we need now is the saw. Everything else we have, so we also go ahead and take these items out of here since we learned that we can't search there, so we don't want to keep a bunch of stuff stored in there. Lest we lose it again. So for this, we're going to need... We can either make a cobalt gear and then lathe it, or we can just make a saw with this recipe. We'll just use this recipe. And we're going to need plates. So how do we cook these? Just in a furnace. Okay, nothing crazy. Let's go ahead and probably we're just going to end up cooking all of these because I don't think we use these again for anything, right? Yeah. So let's just make all of these into ingots. I'm going to speed cook it here, use 1 slot per item, and then even on top of that, speed it up. All right, there we go. These are the 4 we're going to make into plates. Sorry, steel, out of the way for 1 minute. Can we afford to speed this up? We sure can, but now we can't afford to put the steel back in here. So let me put our battery in here so that the steel can continue processing. Oh, not the bucket. Okay. All right. So now make our cutting blade and make our cutting machine. Heck yeah. Cutting machine's going to go right here. Cutting machine uses fluid plus an item to cut stuff up. So we can either use water, distilled water for slightly faster recipe, or we can use lubricant. But we don't have lubricant yet, so we're just going to use... I don't actually want... Hold up. I don't actually want water here. I'm going to put the water up here for a second so that it doesn't fill these machines up. Let me break this. I'm going to steal your, I need the wrench for a moment. I'm going to steal the distilled water that I made for the distillery here. I'm just going to steal the distilled water into the cutting machine. And then now I'm going to move the Everfull urn back down, and that should refill the distillery. Right? Or is this... Oh, I think that's out of range, right? It has a weird range. There we go, that should work. That should also keep the mixer over here topped off with water, which is what I want in it for right now. Okay, so distillery is good over here. This is actually going to cause some issues with our, what is here? There's a pump here. I don't remember why I put a pump here. Oh yeah, I was using that to get water in it before I upgraded to distilled water. I forget how to take this off. I think we need a crowbar to get this off of here, which I haven't made one yet, but we will make one at some point. Okay, I'm gonna need my battery because our stuff's not gonna be able to run over here without it. And we can finally do our glass. Like, all of that rigmarole just to get some glass panes. Can you believe it? And I know we could have also used the chisel method, but I wanted to do it, like, legit, so come on. Some credit, you know? Alright, so the sextant. We need 2 of these, which means we need 2 aquamarines. Aquamarines are upstairs. Gonna need 2 gold ingots, and we're gonna need some sticks. Alright, and that's gonna give us our sextant. Let's go back up and use our sextant. Oh, I did not mean to. Can I slash home? Thank you. I didn't want to wait for the portal cooldown, I just wanted to keep going. So let's throw this over here, and then let's take our table over here and get the bucket out of here. Put our sextant in here. Oh, we need to make the panes first, that's right. So grab 2 aquamarines, stick them both in there, and then we should be able to craft this. With all of the starlight available here at 11 a.m. You know how it goes. And then we can make our sextant. Heck yeah, there's another quest complete. That quest actually gives us one of the aquamarines back. It gives us some liquid starlight as well, which is good. Alright, I'm gonna step away for a moment. I will be back soon, but the sextant is basically gonna allow us to be able to do this. It's gonna let us build our structure without having to look in the book. It's just gonna show us where the blocks go. So yeah, be back in a bit to do that. Okay, I am back and looking to see and try to figure out what we're building here. So because this altar is going to get bigger in the future, in fact, can we look and see how big it gets? I just want to make sure we're not going to run out of space here or have it collide into things. So right now it is the center, and then it goes a radius of 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks out. So let's take a quick look at our Astral Sorcery book and find the top tier of this thing. If I can remember what chapter it's going to be. I'm just going to guess it's going to be all the way over here. Brilliance, sure. Do we have an altar in Brilliance? No, we have nothing in Brilliance. I guess we're not brilliant. Radiance, okay. Here we go. This looks like our altar, though it's not showing us how to make it. It's not really showing anything in this chapter. Okay, well, here's the table. Maybe we need to look in the previous chapter. I wish this, hover over one of the clusters, zoom in with W and S. Oh, you can also zoom in with W instead of the scroll wheel. Okay. Fair enough. I wish there was like a search bar or something. Whoops, I turned my book into a not book. I don't think there is a search bar for here, is there, though? So it shows us how to make the... This is the attunement altar here. It shows us how to make the celestial altar over here. This one has a radius of... Oh, this is kind of hard to tell. This is 5 here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it goes out another extra block. And then what about the next tier of altar, though? Do we not have the... And I'm kind of not like a huge fan of these in-game manuals sometimes. Here we go, the iridescent altar. Here it goes. Okay, so here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's going to go 2 more blocks than it currently is. So if we go over this direction, this is going to come out to like here. So we wouldn't want to build anything that would extend into here. So to make sure that doesn't crash over here, and same in this direction. So this is going to go 1, 2. So that's going to go this way and this way and this way. So let's make sure we don't build anything that's going to collide with this. The Starlight Infusion guy. Let's find where that is really quick. I think I saw it over here in Brilliance. Nope, I forgot. We're not Brilliant. My bad. Was it in Attunement? Not in Attunement. Radiance. I will find this thing because I want to look at the actual structure. Here we go. Starlight Infusion. Okay, so this goes a radius of 3 blocks out. So if we put it like... I put this block, broke this block out too far here. There we go. So if we go here and then have our center here, it would be fine. We would need to build over the void a little bit though. I think instead of doing that, we're just gonna go ahead and do this. So let's go and 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm just gonna have it here, and that should keep it on the platform and then not collide into that structure over there. All right, so let's go ahead and build it. So we are going to need to dig up some of our floor, actually, because this needs to be marble here under the floor. So let's dig up that first. Diggy, diggy, diggy. Okay. So we need regular old marble down there. Let's grab our chisel and some of our marble. And I don't think this marble works, right? Does not work. And also that is now marble cobblestone, so I'm just gonna throw it into the planet there. So marble, we need our chisel, and we need astral sorcery marble specifically. We need 3x4, so we need 12 of these guys. Astral sorcery marble is this one. All right, so that should like that. Yep, there it goes. Since it likes them, it's not giving us the red squares anymore. Okay, and then we need... Oh, we're going to need more ruined marble here. We actually do not have any, but this looks like marble arches here along the edge. Let's not fall. I cannot see where there's platform because there is stuff in the way. Okay, and then stick that there. Break that. All right, and then it's really hard to see what we're actually looking at here. What is this? Is this a lapis block? Yeah, that is a lapis block. Okay. You're wondering how I knew that. It's just because I used to. I've built this before, I remember. Let's fill in these corners here so we don't accidentally fall into any of them. Okay, the corners are filled in now, so this is safe to walk across. If we take our sextant off, can you go off for a second? Can you stop being a sextant? Okay, apparently not. Well, Stop Being a Sextant is going to be the name of today's episode. Maybe. I don't know. I'm probably going to forget what I wanted to name it. Let's put our arches really quick, and then we're going to need to go make a lot of ruined marble here. So we're going to need 5 times 4 arches, 20 arches. We need more marble. 20 arches. All right. And then rune marble, we're going to need to go make more of that. Oh, and if I recall correctly, rune marble we needed air crystals for, right? Ordo crystals. Okay, Ordo crystals we don't have. So we're going to need to go find Ordo before we can even finish this guy. In the meantime, though, I do have 3 times 4 buckets of liquid starlight. I think. Can I place this? I cannot place this, but you know, we do have a puddle of liquid starlight. Let me go ahead and dump out what I have here. These need to be liquid starlight source blocks. So that's why you're seeing the flowing ones it doesn't like. All right, and then we need 2 more buckets. We do have 1 bucket here. Might as well drop it, and then we're gonna need to go get more from down on our base, and then we're gonna need rune marble, and we're gonna need a lapis block. Slash boom, whoops. Slash home, there we go. And we're gonna go up here, and let's just grab a fresh tank of this stuff. So there's 10 buckets of that. And looks like these are all empty, so that's good. I'm like, why can't I put this other cell in here? Can I put the other cell somewhere? Let's just, I want to get it out of the cell and into a bucket, because the bucket we can actually do stuff with. Where did my other empty cell go? I'm slightly confused. I had 2 cells of liquid starlight. Why did one of them get deleted? Okay, well, whatever. Whatever, I guess. Alright, go back up here, and... where was the last one we needed? It was right here, right? Yeah. There we go. Okay. Alright, well, now we just need other things to finish this off over here. Let me see what I don't want to bring with me back downstairs. Resonating Wand and Akashic Tome can probably stay up here. Sooty Marble can definitely stay up here. The Chiseled Stone I don't want. I'll keep these glass panes up here. And yeah, we just need to go get some not air, I keep saying air, Ordo crystals for our, what's it called? Our ruined marble, and then we can finish that structure. But we are kind of getting, is that time of the episode again, where it's like, wow, we've already run out of time doing stuff, even though I keep pausing and then doing some stuff off camera. Apparently at some point I took a beheading book even. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. Here, go miscellaneous chest with you. We have another head that doesn't stack. Do these stack if I like break them and then pick them up again? Is that how this works? Okay, those still don't stack, so great. Do they stack if I put them in the crafting grid? No, it doesn't let me do that. Okay, I don't know how to make the head stack. Where's our biome compass? So we have 2 options to find an Ordo crystal. We can either go to a magical force biome, or we can go to a sapphire vein in a cold biome. Honestly, I am inclined to do the sapphire vein option because we are going to need sapphire soon anyways for aluminum. So let's run and try to do that. And let's see, let's have a grilled cheese. No, let's not have a grilled cheese. We've eaten one too recently, and we do not like grilled cheese. See, we've eaten all of this stuff kind of recently. Let's eat a blueberry to kind of sate our... eaten once out of the last 5 foods? How, though? I have so many foods here. Let's eat some honey. Not eaten recently. Let's run up to our cold biomes in the north, and let's see if we can find a sapphire vein really quick. Let's see, I have my mining stuff on me. I have my scanner. Okay, we go. And since this is going to be mostly running, I'm just going to cut until something interesting happens, so be back. Okay, we are now in the taiga biome, which I think is where we should be able to start finding these veins. It is a colder vein. Sapphire vein, sapphire ore. Nope, wrong kind of sapphire ore. Okay, so Ordo vein. Dyer's anklet. Why is this called an Ordo vein? Taiga. I don't see taiga here. I see cold taiga. But we're currently in taiga, and taiga hills is what's around us, so we're gonna have to go a bit closer. Or is it in Crystal Forest by any chance? I don't see Crystal Forest in here. I'm looking at the wrong kind of vein also. No, we're gonna need like a cold biome, I guess. Do we have an ender crystal on us? This is our ender crystal from our copper mine, but I might use it if it gets to nighttime before we... Was that an owl? What the heck? I might use it if it gets nighttime before we find what we're looking for. Oh, I did not want to hop in here. Gosh darn it. Let me out, please. Come on. Okay, I guess I'm just going to be stuck in this hole for the rest of forever. Alright, it's already getting dark, and no sign of the vein we're looking for. So what I'm going to do what's called like a bookmarking of a travel distance, where I'm going to use my ender shard where we stand, and then I'm going to be able to use it to continue traveling further later. But let's see how far we can go before we start seeing anything of significant danger here, or slash it gets too dark to see anything. While I can continue running in the dark, it's, y'all can't even see what I'm doing, so I'm not gonna do that on camera. Yeah, it's already getting quite dark here. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and we're going to put a new ender shard marker here, and we're gonna slash home. And I know we just cleared our copper one there. We're just going to, not a copper, our iron vein. We're just going to put our iron vein in there. And now when we're ready to return, we're just going to hop in there and return. Well, I think that might actually do it for today's episode. We are going to need to go and... What's going on over here? Oh yeah, we don't actually have enough steam to run that, what's it called? That distiller full bore, so... There we go. Get that to run a little bit. That should, there, give it enough power to be able to run. Let's give it the battery as well. Alright, if you're enjoying the series, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, etc. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.